73 degrees here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise Daily. I'm Maupe Ogun-Yusuf.
26 degrees here, may climb to something in the region of 28 degrees later on in the day. I'm Ayo Makinde. Good morning and welcome to your daily dose of sunshine. Don't ever forget that, Maupe.
Well, I'm struggling to hear what it is that you said, but you do know that the political season is heating up quite suddenly. Yesterday, we were greeted with the news of the resignation of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who sent in his resignation with immediate effect. He says he was writing to formally resign his membership from the People's Democratic Party with immediate effect. He says he would like to take the opportunity to express his profound gratitude for the opportunities he's been given by the party, serving 2 full terms as Vice President of Nigeria and being a presidential candidate twice. He says has been one of the most significant chapters of his life. He says as the founding father of this esteemed party, it is indeed heartbreaking for him to make the decision. Well, that's the letter written by Vice President Atiku Abubakar, GCON. Well, only this morning, we also received news that not only has the vice president resigned, one of the aspirants on the platform of the PDP in the last presidential primaries of the party, Dele Momodu, has also resigned as well. He sent his this morning saying, as a member of the PDP, he wishes to inform the chairman of his decision to resign from the political party, the PDP, with immediate effect as well. He says his reason is simple and straightforward. He says our party has been unarguably hijacked by anti-democratic forces from within and outside in broad daylight. It is therefore honorable to abandon the carcass of the party to them, while the majority of us earnestly sign up with the new coalition party known as the African Democratic Congress, the ADC. Well, that's a resignation of Dele Momodu, who also made his resignation known in the wee hours of this morning. Well, quite a number of reactions have started to greet the resignation of these 2 gentlemen from the People's Democratic Party, because before now, people had wondered how the ADC was going to be made, whether it was going to be a coalition of people still within their political parties, and then, finding a grand coalition of sorts, with maybe a candidate from the ADC being the person that they'll support. But clearly, it has been shown now that members of the PDP who have left, who are in the ADC, are now saying, no, we are resigning. And we can see that has been done with immediate effect, starting with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Well, we're not looking at a number of reactions to this particular development, and joining us in our studios this morning is Mr. Larry Olayinka, who is the SSA Public Communication to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me here again.
We're also expecting the special advisor comms and strategy to the PDP presidential candidate, Mr. Frank Schreiber, and we're hoping that he will join us shortly. But this is the news that we have now received. It does appear that stalwarts of the PDP are leaving, people that you would ordinarily consider heavyweight. And when you look at the letter of someone like Mr. Dele Momodu, who says, it is therefore honorable to abandon the carcass of the party to them, while the majority of us earnestly sign up with the new coalition party. I don't know how this greets you.
Well, my first reaction yesterday was that Atiku Abubakar leaving PDP, to me, is good riddance to bad rubbish. Good riddance to bad rubbish. It is like our Hausa people will say, Shegobe. Yes, and one thing I would have also loved to see in the reportage from the media yesterday was that it should have been stated that the headline should have been Atiku Abubakar leaves PDP again. It should have been he left PDP again, because he has been leaving since 2007, he has been leaving. So if he choose to leave now, fine. Then the party can now begin to now look at itself and bring itself together again. Unfortunately, it is too late, because like I've said many times, Atiku Abubakar happened to be like the weapon fashioned against the PDP. Again, you also said stalwart of the PDP, heavyweight of PDP, and you referred and you mentioned Aredele Momodu. I beg, how is Aredele Momodu a big wig, a big wig in the PDP? Somebody who joined the PDP in 2022.
You do not imagine that when people at least aspire to be president on the platform of the PDP.
Anybody can aspire to be president. If you aspire to be president, you did not have a single vote. How are you now a big wig? Can Dele Momodu win his polling unit? A lot of people are even now beginning to, it is today that he resigned, that people are now beginning to know that he's from Edo State. People don't even know. People don't know that he's from Edo State.
Maybe because he's been able to build such a national following.
Because he has national following doing a photo book, national following publishing a photo album.
What is wrong with that?
Following? No, what I'm saying is that he's a good publisher of photo book. But I don't subscribe to this idea of referring to him as chieftain of a political bigwig. How? As how now? How can Dele Momodu be political bigwig? Can he win his? I mean that I'm talking to you. I've contested primary before. At least I've contested election in PDP. I contested primary for House of Rep. I won. And I contested election for House of Rep. I had more than 10,000 votes, at least.
Mr. Olayinka, I'm a little concerned because, you know, one would think that when we have a party in power, there's a party in power. The APC is currently in power. Opposition parties, what they normally try to do is wrest power from the party in power. That's what they try to do. Yeah. And we've seen over the years that for anyone to be able to wrest power from the from a ruling government or from a ruling party, it is usually very incumbent upon the opposition to come together, as was done in 2013 to 2014, to be able to wrest power from the PDP in 2015. Do you think that this factionalization or this fractionalization we see within the ranks of the opposition will get them anywhere come 2027?
You see, bringing people together in politics is like also bringing apples together. When you have like 100 apples in a basket, the moment one of the apple gets spoiled, and you don't remove that one out of the 100, that one will infect the remaining 99, and the 99 will get spoiled.
Who's the bad apple here?
It's Atiku Abubakar.
You're sure he is the bad apple, not your principal?
He is, and let me give you because one of the problems we have in this country is that most of us are not students of history. In 2003, PDP's effort to win Lagos State was frustrated by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar when he was vice president. And that was how anti-party started in PDP. In 2018, you can Google it, when he went to Lagos, he personally apologized for the role he played in frustrating the effort of the PDP to win Lagos State in 2003. Now, look at it. If PDP had taken Lagos State then, look at the effect. That is 2003. In 2007, Atiku Abubakar holds the records of the first Nigerian as vice president, city vice president, that went to another party while still holding the mandate of the PDP as vice president. He went and formed Action Congress with the other people, and he contested as presidential candidate of Action Congress 2007, even as a sitting vice president, holding the mandate of the PDP. In 2014, it was this same Atiku Abubakar that led the rebellion that pulled down the PDP, that took PDP out of power. When he went to APC and he could not get the ticket of APC, he said a lot of unprintable words on PDP. You can check Google, it is there. Now, the same Atiku Abubakar came back to PDP in 2017. Now, because he has seen that, because the only thing that interests Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is to be president of Nigeria. And I begin to wonder, is it that whether a doctor prescribed presidency to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar so that if you don't become president, something will happen to you? Because that is the way it is. In 1993, let me also say this. In 1993, when Alhaji Abubakar contested for the ticket of SDP in 1993, a lot of us they will tell us that after the first ballot that he came third, and there was supposed to be a runoff election between MK Abiola and Babagana Kingibe. That Atiku Abubakar supported MK Abiola. That is, and they will tell us that, because he's a Democrat, he only wants the best for this country. And the issue is this. At the first election, primary of SDP, MK Abiola had 3,617 votes to come first, followed by Kingibe, followed by Atiku. Atiku, who had 2,066 votes. Now, the runoff between Abiola and Kingibe, Atiku said he supported Abiola. And Abiola in the runoff election had 2,683 votes. So what happened to Atiku's 2,066 votes? Meaning that he did not support Abiola at that time. So the only thing that is important to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is Atiku and Abubakar. Every other thing, the moment he's in this party, he cannot get ticket to contest, he moves to another party. And let me also say this.
There is freedom of, I think within any party.
Write this one down. After this experiment in their coalition, which I call coalition of confusion, he will still leave that coalition and probably come back to PDP as he has been doing.
We'll wait and see about that. But, a number of people will say that this, people have freedom of association. And what has happened in the PDP, especially since the primaries that led up to the 2023 elections, are primarily, will I say, come down to two people, Vice President Atiku Abubakar and also the current FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. The minister has not minced words when he said that he plans to chase some people out of the party before now. And so people are saying, and not only has he chased them, if you really confirm that is what he has done, and
that is correct.
As a result of he's staying in the party, putting one leg in the APC and refusing to leave the PDP alone is the reason why these people are saying that there is no way there can be a credible contest against the APC come 2027 or even moving forward, as long as Minister Nyesom Wike decides that he's going to continue to support the APC, especially the candidacy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Let me correct this impression. The minister is not putting one leg in APC. His two legs are in PDP. There is difference between serving in government and politics. And Wike is not the first to serve in a government from another party. Late Bola Ige was Attorney General under the PDP government of Obasanjo now.
Yeah, but there are those who say that kind of conversation should have happened with the leadership of the PDP, but not with individuals within the PDP.
When he was offered the appointment, he wrote to the leadership of the PDP and they gave him go ahead. He wrote to them, he informed them. You see, the problem with us is that we're always looking for a fall guy. Number one, would PDP have been out of power if Atiku did not rebel against the party in 2014? When Atiku left in 2014 and PDP lost power, who was the person holding PDP? Who was the force behind PDP then? It was this same Wike. It was this same Wike that Atiku that did not let PDP collapse that time. Now, the same person that collapsed the house of PDP came back. In 2019, 2023 rather, everybody the governors of this country, southern governor, met and said presidency should be zoned to the south. PDP, I'm coming. PDP set up a zoning committee. While the zoning committee was still meeting, Atiku rushed to obtain nomination form to twist, to force a fait accompli on the committee. The issue is this: if Atiku had respected that principle of zoning, Buhari spent 8 years from the north. Naturally, the president should go to the south. Today, the same Atiku contested against Buhari in 2019. The same Atiku has been in Daura. He could not even wait for the 7 days money period of Buhari to end before making political decision. That is not. I don't understand why somebody would be so desperate to this extent. A president of Nigeria died from your own geopolitical zone. A Muslim like you.
Do you know if they had already planned to resign before the president died?
Even if you had planned to resign, the minister of FCT was in Benin on Sunday to commission a project on Monday. He was already in Benin before the news of the president death came. The commissioning was cancelled. That is how to show empathy. But me, I've seen somebody, like I said, his only interest is how to be president.
Mr. Lincoln, let me ask you, I mean, because as someone who, I'm unclear as to if you're still in a political party. You did say that you were in the PDP.
I'm in the PDP.
Oh, you are in the PDP. So yes. Let me ask you, as somebody who is in the PDP, you know, how do you see this 2027 elections going to be conducted with all of these big wigs now leaving the PDP, Vice President? If you say that Aredele Momodu doesn't have, doesn't have the strong...
That's better, removing from the big wigs.
I'm just saying that, assuming you say that, I mean, that is what you're saying, but you certainly cannot dismiss Atiku Abubakar, and you know that he certainly has his own following. How do you see this elections going to be contested in 2020? How do you see the PDP, politics, your party, going to the elections in 2027?
In politics, a political party is not just about contesting presidential election. We've had parties in this country. AD, Alliance for Democracy, started by holding the Southwest. From AD to Action Congress. From Action Congress to Action Congress of Nigeria. From Action Congress of Nigeria to APC. Now that political arrangement in coalition with other political parties is in power now. So the situation of PDP, except we want to deceive ourselves. Me, I'm a realist. I don't believe that somebody can get to Iteba without having gari and boiling water. Me, I don't believe that. Today, PDP has been so destroyed, damaged by this one man, Alhaji Abubakar, Atiku Abubakar. He's now gone. The first thing I want to say is that when highly spirited member of PDP comes together now to rebuild the party, Atiku Abubakar should not come back after he has failed in this new political journey, because he's going to fail as he has been failing. So what I believe is that PDP should now begin to put his house in order. It might not be necessarily to make a good showing next year, but 2027, because it is very close now.
Clearly, it is not about 2027.
It shouldn't be.
We'll see about that. I mean, we'll certainly be watching political development, and we'll, of course, be waiting to hear from other members of the People's Democratic Party. We've seen that of the...
We'll begin to hear. And we'll also begin to hear from those who are doing coalition.
Yeah, some people will say that this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the resignation of the gale that we might see.
Let people, see, let the bad eggs live. For instance...
You're calling them bad eggs?
Yes!
In spite of all the weight that they carry.
For instance, one of those...
Mr. Lincoln, I'm afraid we don't have a lot of time.
Listen, let me just say this. One of those who are telling us that they are doing coalition is from Kogi State. He's doing coalition now. He was a candidate of PDP, governorship candidate. On the day of his election, he was in his house doing the social media content. He did not even come out to vote for himself. Somebody who did not vote for himself in his own election is the one that is talking about coalition.
Who are you referring to?
I'm talking about Dino Melaye.
Okay. I'm sure that Senator Dino Melaye would respond in due course. But Mr. Mliri Olayinka, we have to thank you very much for coming in this morning. We certainly look forward to further developments from the PDP, your party, and also your minister as well. We have to thank you very much.
We'll always be here.
Thank you.
Mr.
Mliri Olayinka is the SSA Public Communication to the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. We'll take another perspective in just a moment. Please stay with us. We did say we'll be taking on another perspective, and joining us right now is Mr. Frank Schreiber, who is a Special Advisor, Public Communication to the former Vice President. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning, Mark.
I'm sure you've heard some of the things that Mr. Mliri Olayinka has said. I mean, he didn't mince words. He said good riddance to bad rubbish. I shudder to use those words, but that was exactly what his reaction was. And I'm sure you've also seen a host of other reactions that have been coming in the wake of the Vice President making his intention to leave the People's Democratic Party. Would you say that he is giving up so easily?
Giving up?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think that would be a wrongful use of adjective to say that he's giving up. He can't give up. Atiku will not give up until he sees a better Nigeria. Atiku will not give up until we get rid of this rudderless government. Atiku will not give up until we have good leaders for the country called Nigeria. Now, leaving the PDP is not about, it's not about fear or about capitulation. It is about making an informed decision based on principle. Instead of remaining in the party like some charlatans do, to fight within the party and destroy the party. He does not tread. If you know Atiku's politics, you know that he's a very decent and disciplined man. He does not engage in those kind of theatrics. He will not remain in the party to fight, to destroy the same party that he helped to build, like some characters are doing now. But in as much as we will not elevate them by responding to them, the beauty is simple. We know, Nigerians know for sure that the reason Atiku Abubakar quit the PDP is the fact that the PDP has lost its voice. It has lost its fervor. It has lost its vitality to serve as the right opposition to this government, to this clueless government in power. And what do you need? If Atiku remains there, there is no way you can confront this kind of rudderless leadership with a party that is not functioning as an opposition, a party that has been infiltrated by this government, that is on the verge of, or that is on a search and on a mission to recreating what we call a one-party state. And what was Atiku's position? He said, look, we cannot continue like this. I cannot remain here in a party that has no voice, in a party that cannot act, that cannot confront bad governance. Instead, if I do so, I will be, in fact, history will be unkind to me. I'll be leaving over 200 million Nigerians in chains. What is the chain in question? We're talking of a government that is desperate to create what we call a one-party state. And when there is a one-party state, it means that the destiny of over 200 million Nigerians is under lock and key. And if our destinies, our collective destiny as a people is under lock and key, because there will be no alternative. Because that is what they are angling for. And if they're angling for a party where you and I do not have an alternative, apart from being in chains and being in bed with them and to live and wake up to bad leadership, to hunger and poverty, then he would have failed in his time.
Have you seen some of the reactions that have trailed his resignation? I'm sure that you've seen the headlines this morning. Take a look at, for instance, at the Daily Trust.
Yeah.
They say Makinde, Kayamo, others react as Atiku quits PDP again. I do not know how that again hits you.
I'll tell you something, Mark. Madness on its own is a point of view.
Madness?
Yes, it's a point of view.
What is the madness you see here?
The import here is that everyone is entitled to the way he or she wants to interpret or react to Atiku's departure from the PDP. For Keyamo, for instance, I would ask, what is he afraid of? I remember vividly the moment we unveiled the ADC, for instance. The first, just 2 minutes after the unveiling of the ADC, the first person who reacted was Festus Keyamo, a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who did not hide, who did not even conceal the fears of the Federal Executive Council, you understand, which he is a member, when he said that, look, the best thing to do in this alliance is to give the ticket of the ADC to Mr. Peter Obi, as if the ticket of the party is a pot of porridge. And we asked a question, and I did ask him. I said, what is your business with the opposition politics? You should be concerned about your party. You should be concerned about the bond you have with Nigerians. You should be concerned about your leadership.
He's reacted again, yes.
He's reacting again.
But this time around,
yes,
he's criticizing the person of the vice president, the former vice president.
Yes, I'm getting to that.
Yes, saying that he's trying to draw the spotlight away from the solemn occasion of the passing of President Muhammadu Buhari. That's what he's accused him of. That's one. And then he's also accused him of using the coat of arms of the federal government in his private or political communications when he stopped being a functionary of the federal government more than 18 years ago. Something he says is morally reprehensible.
No, but first let me start from the last item, which is talking about the use of the seal of the coat of arms on his official communication. The first is the fact that Atiku Abubakar was Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. That office gives him the nod to use ceremonially the coat of arms in his official communication. Ceremonially, underline it. That is why, don't forget to, you can double check me, you can fact check me. Even in America, former presidents of America use the seal of that office, even after you have left office, for official communication. There is nothing morally wrong about it. Then you're talking about the timing of his movements. My dear Maokwe, the communication as it relates to the resignation of Atiku Abubakar was done via a letter to his ward. We did not even utter the release. I'm sure Polibe, my colleague, was on this station this morning. He didn't even utter the release. We know those who released it because they wanted to serve a purpose. And because our phones were banging, we were far away in Daura. Atiku Abubakar was not just physically present. He commiserated with the family, condoled with the people of Katsina and Nigerians, and he stayed back for the third day prayer yesterday. We were all in Daura for the third day prayer. Now, don't forget too that hours before the corpse of His Excellency, the late former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, arrived in Nigeria for burial, his Festus Keyamo's colleague, my friend Bayo Onanuga, issued a tweet where he cast aspersions on the memory of the late president. That is a senior official of this government. But Keyamo lost his voice. There was no Festus Keyamo to talk about timing, to talk about decency, to talk about the memories of Buhari, to talk about the state and the mood of the, hold on please.
What tweet
to
were
talk
you
about
referring
the,
to?
No, to talk about the mood of the nation. He was talking about the 12 million votes. You see, these people are afraid of the living. They are now, in fact, at that point, they were attacking the ghosts of President Muhammadu Buhari and the 12 million votes. He was particular about the 12 million votes. That because I remember vividly at the book launch of our dear friend and brother, another colleague of ours, Garba Shehu, in his book entitled, at the launch of his book entitled, According to Mr. President.
Yeah.
You understand me? Where Boss Mustafa, the former secretary to the government of the Federation,
had made reference to
the number of votes that were in the kitty for President Muhammadu Buhari, as he then was. Are you with me? And he mentioned that figure, 12 million votes. Of course, that rattled them. They've been running from pillar to post. And even when President Muhammadu Buhari died, they didn't even wait for his corpse to arrive. The first to attack in vitriolic and acerbic terminologies was Samuel Maseye, a known mouthpiece of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the chairperson of the editorial board of the Nation newspaper owned by Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I'm trying to...
And in fact, in his piece entitled, is it Anticlimax or whatever he entitled it? I read it. And that was when the corpse was still lying in London. It had not even arrived. And 10:56 a.m., on the day the body of President Muhammadu Buhari arrived in Nigeria, by Ononuga, traveled the same route. But my dear friend and brother, Festus Keyamo, lost his voice. These are people in the kitchen cabinet of the president. Let me tell you something. No media aide of a president can cast aspersions on a former president without the imprimatur or approval of his boss. And I want to challenge Mr. President that if he did not approve by Onanuga to issue such the tweet, which he later deleted, then he should be reprimanded. Something should happen. He fire him. It has happened in multiple locations.
Let me take this conversation to
yes.
Lagos now, because I know my colleague Ayo wants to come into the conversation. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Mark. Mr. Shaibu, just the first question that I want to ask you, point blank, is your principle contesting for presidency in the next elections in 2027?
Take it again, please. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar contesting for the presidency in 2027?
Well, Ayo, 2027 is still very far away. Very, very far away. Right now, our focus is simple. And his focus is very, very simple. And his message has been clear and unambiguous. It is about working with Nigerians, working with, he is a team player, working with leaders across board to stop this deliberate process, deliberate annihilation of various party structures in a bid to bet a one-party state.
But the same agenda had kind of been, if you can hear me, Mr. Shaibu.
It will bring about, like I said earlier,
yeah, just one second.
It will bring about
this same
a
point
lack
has
of option for our people. And
yes,
our people, Nigerians, will be locked down.
Yeah, if you can hear me, my apologies. This same point that you made was made when Alhaji Atiku Abubakar left the PDP in the build-up to the general elections in 2014. And he said, and I quote, "Why am I seeking to become the president of this country? Because Nigeria's problems since I last ran still remain." And this was posted in November of 2014. And at that time, he had left the PDP. He had left the PDP to team up with the late President Buhari to become president. He left the PDP for that. But guess what? Shortly after, in 2022, he went back, left the same APC that he helped to come into government and went back to the PDP and said in 2022, the APC can gloss over everything, but it's not its scorecard for the mandate, but not its scorecard for the mandate Nigerians gave to the party. The 2023 elections will be a referendum on the failed policies of the administration. That's according to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and he posted this one himself with his signature.
Hello, Ayo, I can hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Ayo.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you can see what is on the screen. That's a post he put out, himself signed in 2022. So why should anyone believe or trust Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and his partnership with any political juggernaut, which however many they may be, whoever they may be, should be trusted?
Ayo, you see, what the actions of Atiku Abubakar are always explained, and that is what honor means. Honor. Honor means when a man decides and takes actions based on principles and his belief. And Atiku Abubakar should be believed more than those who sit as leaders of PDP and destroy the party from the inside, then hire louts and hoodlums and throw them, on the streets to decimate or call other leaders names. So Atiku Abubakar will always explain away his reasons for taking an action, and that is what honor means. And for me, and for all of us, he should be respected and should be taken seriously. Ayo, you should understand too that when your house is on fire, I would ask you, when your house is on fire, would you stay by to roast yam, no matter how beautiful the house is? Or a lion is chasing you or chasing your family? If a lion is chasing your family, no matter how, a beautiful bride you have seen and you want to pluck flowers for, will you stop by to say you want to pluck flowers for that bride? The danger here is bigger than what we are talking about. The danger here is that Nigeria is drifting
perhaps
into
one of
a
the
one-party
challenges here. Just a second. And I
because
think that fact of what
our
parties
hold on, Ayo, hold on, Ayo.
All right.
It's not a monologue. You asked a question, and I think I deserve.
Oh yes, you do. I'm just trying to see how much we can pack into the little time
now,
that we have. That's why.
The question here is that, like I said, if you are being chased, your family members are being chased by a lion, like it's happening now, where parties have been infiltrated and been muzzled, and in fact they are being decimated, and there is no opposition. And what we see is a clear case of a country drifting into a one-party state. And he has chosen to say, and elected to say, look, PDP as it is has lost its voice. It has lost its favor. It has lost its vitality. It is no longer what it used to be. As a strong opposition, what do we need? I need to work with other people as a team player to see how we can stop this country from drifting into a one-party state. I think that is, that is strong enough for anybody to believe him.
Well,
there is no politician,
as viable
none,
as
including
sounds,
those in power
yes,
now, that did not metamorphose, that did not move from one place to the other.
Okay.
But life on its own is about change.
Okay, but it raises a number of other questions, Mr. Shoaibu. Let's make this as brief as possible, if you can hear me.
Everybody.
Yes, just 1 second, Mr. Shoaibu, if you can hear me. It begs a lot of questions because some of the analogies that you gave, a number of people will be wondering how that is possible. First of all, house burning, that's the reason we have insurance. Was there any insurance built into the PDP? Lion running in the first place. Why would I even go into a zoo? But the question that I want to ask you is this about that. Just a second. Just a second. We'll come back to that.
You know what the lion is.
But just a second. There was a statement made by Mr. Nyesom Wike when he was governor, and he accused your principal, along with a number of other influencers in the PDP, saying that they have, broken the ethos of the party and all. And he said, and the video is still online, we are going to chase them out of the party. Is that what has happened?
Not at all. Ayo, you know for sure. You see, Ayo, you know for sure that that particular expression from Nyesom Wike was nothing but a vituperation of zero consequence. It couldn't have affected, it couldn't have moved an Atiku Abubakar, particularly when some of these expressions are done under the influence of certain maybe 40-year-old whiskey or whatever it may be. But what I will tell you is that you have forgotten too that there are multiple videos trending online where the same Nyesom Wike said that the APC is cancer. And he cannot leave a party that has malaria and go and join cancer. But today, he's the campaigner-in-chief of the same party. So you see, I need you as professional journalists to interrogate some of these things. Than to begin to draw comparisons and bring some of these kind of expressions to interrogate this situation as it is now. Atiku Abubakar is far more decent, far more decent than what we are talking about. Atiku cannot be chased. He is the one that they are afraid of, and that is why they are all jumping at it. Why should the APC be bothered whether Atiku has defected or not? Who is afraid of Atiku Abubakar? That is the question to ask, Ayo.
Okay, well, there are so many questions to ask you. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, Markwe.
Okay, I was just going to say that we haven't seen the reaction of the All Progressives Congress just yet. What we have seen are reactions of those who are in the PDP with him.
Festus Keyamo is not in the PDP. No, there are so many others.
You wouldn't let me land. I mean, yes, I'm saying we've not seen the official reaction of the All Progressives Congress as a party. He is a minister, a federal minister, but he doesn't speak for the APC, or does he? Then we also have reactions of people like Governor Makinde who've spoken. We've seen a number of other reactions as well, which we're still trying to collate. But clearly, we have not yet seen the reaction. What are your own expectations now? Because, yes, we've seen the resignation of the vice president, and we've also seen the resignation of Aredele Momodu for this ADC. Are you hoping, because there had been the big question as to how was this coalition going to set off in the first instance? Because a lot of people that had come out for the coalition were still in their political parties when they came out. So is the vice president, the former vice president, trying to send a signal to the other people who are supposed to be in this coalition that if indeed they are serious about this coalition, this will be the way to go?
Mark, he does not need to send a signal. You know, you have to lead by example. Atiku is simply a man who leads by example. It is his conviction. He has elected, like I said, I told you the reason he left the PDP, the reason he quit the PDP. And if you have not forgotten, I know that Channels Television transmitted live after the last elections in 2023, when he did a live broadcast, you know, and he did say that, look, I will not quit politics. I will lead a national coalition to rescue this country from the hands of mandate bandits.
Okay.
And he has lived up to that expectation, Malcolm. Now, what you have seen is that sometimes in life you have to tactically withdraw so that you can strategically advance.
Okay, so let us see.
For others who will join and all of that, you see, the other time, I don't know, Marco, I don't know if you noticed, if you read in the papers.
I was just going to ask you when you said he would lead the party. Is it lead the party as presidential candidate or lead the party as leader of the agency?
Marco, I responded to Ayo earlier that, look, the 2027 is still very far away.
Okay.
You understand? The issue now is about Nigeria. It's about rescuing Nigerians from the hands of those who are desperate to turn Nigeria into a one-party state and lock down the collective destinies of our people. So that is Atiku's focus.
Are you in the ADC as well?
Oh, if my principal and my boss says go, of course I will follow him.
All right.
It is based on principle. It's about hunger. Hunger does not understand any political party.
Just confirming.
It is not about logo.
Just confirming what party you're still in, Mr. Frank Schreiber, because I also know you're a politician in your own right.
No, I'm a teacher.
You have changed?
I am a teacher.
You're no longer a politician?
I have not been a politician.
All right.
I'm a spokesperson to the former vice president.
If you say so.
But I'm first a teacher.
All right, then. Mr. Frank Schreiber, we have to thank you very much for coming on Sunrise Daily this morning. He is the special advisor on public communication to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Well, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at some of the biggest news that have broken throughout this week with Laolu Akonde. Please stay with us. Well, while all of these political developments were happening within and outside political parties, we've seen a group of Nigerians who have tried their best to be apolitical and are looking out for the interest of the country as a whole, led by the chairman, Chief Emeka Anyoko, who is former Commonwealth Secretary General. They have gathered in Abuja now. They're called the Patriots, asking and looking for ways to see how we can get a new constitution. They've been consistent in their demands. Well, joining us this morning to take a look at some of the things all the developments that have come up this week is Mr. Laolu Akonde, who is a former presidential aide. Mr. Akonde, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Malcolm.
After our marathon a few days ago. But let's take a look at this, the Patriot Summit. They are having this particular conversation. They've been on it, and every year, you know, they have been consistent with their quest for looking for a new constitution for the country. I'm just wondering whether young people, because you have a lot of people, you know, bigwigs within that particular group, and I wonder if young people even know what it is that these people are asking for them, asking for from the country for them, because they're not the ones who will leave and enjoy it if this, you know, demands, if these changes eventually come about. Do you think that they also have a duty to carry along young people?
Absolutely. I mean, it's important to make the point that, these are, for the most part, old brigade, as they say, but what they are doing is very commendable and very noble, trying to sort out, you know, a major and fundamental aspect of our nationhood. That means, what constitution is it that we are using? The constitution says that we're the people, but we know that's a lie. You know, there was never a time that Nigerian people properly put up that constitution. So the idea of having a people's constitution is so central to everything else, that we can do, that we ought to do as a nation. So I agree with you that it's important to find a way to bring in the young people, and more importantly, to try and make a call to all of our non-political leaders that this is where they ought to speak out. The process that has been set up by the Patriots, led by
Chief Emeka
Anyaoku, supported like other people like Professor Ibrahim Gambari, 2 senators in the National Assembly, and quite a number of important functionaries. It's a process that everybody should support, because a constitution ought to come out from among the people. And so the idea of them doing this is very commendable. We need all the non-political leaders especially to add their voice to this process. This is how it ought to be done. And so when we see people taking this step, trying to bring a rallying point, everybody should support it. This is how we should do it. And young people, you are right, should be also at the central driving point of all of these things, because for the most part, it's about their future.
If you could, if one fundamental change could be made in our constitution, what would you say that should be?
Well, for me, that's a very tricky question that you have to reduce it to one.
Indeed.
So what I will say is that we need to go back to parliamentary system. And that is because of what I have seen serving in the villa for 8 years. This idea of a presidential system is wasting our time, is wasting our resources, it's not promoting transparency, it's not promoting accountability. We need to go back to a parliamentary system where we don't have to do all this national presidential election. Let everybody come from among their people. Let us come to a center. Let us have an active opposition. Let them go head to head. Let us have the chief executive of the state taking bullets, I'm talking of horror bullets, from his opponent. Let us have a chief executive who must explain to Nigerians on a regular basis the actions that he's taking, who must speak, who we have no choice but to speak at important moments. Right now, the presidential system is becoming more like a KBC kind of a monarchy, and if you see what we have had, especially since 1999, you've had a presidential system where the president thinks or believes and acts as if they are the all in all. It is not serving Nigeria any good at all. We need a system where the chief executive will be held to account openly and transparently. And that is what the parliamentary system offers. If there is one thing that I will be asking for, that will be it. But there are other things, like the restructuring of the country. It's important to move our responsibilities away from the center. Look, Mapwe, if you want to register a business today, if you live in Ibadan, you must come to Abuja. That is completely... can you imagine a situation where some people actually sat down and did that kind of a thing? Whereas in this world is that kind of absurdity practiced. Somebody is in Ekiti, he wants to start a business, he must come and register in Abuja.
Well,
so there are a lot of several things to talk about, but for the most part, let's restructure this country. Let us abandon this presidential system. It is wasting our time.
Mr. Laulakonde, I wish we had a little more time. We're totally out of time. And I also have to apologize to our viewers whose views we've not been able to take for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully, perhaps tomorrow, we should be able to gather them and take them as well. We have to thank you for sharing your thoughts very generously on Sunrise Daily. Mr. Laulakonde is a former presidential aide and also the host of Channels Television's Inside Sources. Well, that's the much we can take on Sunrise Daily this beautiful Thursday morning. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Maokbe Ogunyusuf.
Well, while the politics hot up, business is on the top of the hour here on Channels Television. I'm Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your day.